Welcome to BattleTech Helper Apps Review, where we're infrequently going to be looking at some apps and programs that might help you with your BattleTech games. Today, we're going to be looking at the MechHitting app on the iOS. As you can see, there's two versions of this app. The first one is a free version with some ads, and the second one is the 2C version. That's €2.50, and you get rid of the ads. I'm going to be showing you the 2C version because I don't want to show some horrible ads to people on this channel. Let's see how this app actually looks. This is the main page. If you look on the very bottom here, you'll see that this app has two different modes. There's the actual mech hitting part and this cluster hits part. Let's have a closer look at how this mech hitting part actually works. Lower left hand side has these icons. You can choose what kind of mech you're hitting. Let's go for a biped mech. We are going to be hitting it from the front or perhaps the rear. And these are going to be normal hits. And let's say we're hitting it with a large laser and two mediums. Let's press on the plus button on the right hand side. So, large laser, right arm, medium, right leg, and the second medium, right torso. You can delete your results. Let's try again. Large laser, left leg, medium, right torso, medium, left arm. Let's get rid of those results. What's pretty cool is that you can actually have a look at what you've thrown here, by the roll log here. You got a couple of pages of stuff. Pretty useful feature, and you can of course delete your log as well. That's the basic functionality of this app. And maybe you saw that there's a custom hit table on the left as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work. I've tried to do something here. These dice you can see there are actually for this vehicle hitting table. As you can see, that's the basic combat vehicle table. I've made it and I've renamed it, but for some reason it doesn't show the name. I've tried to name it. Let's try again. Vehicle. All right, still doesn't show the name. And this is the bad part. If I try to actually use it by clicking custom, and here is our vehicle table, it crashes the app. Oh. I think the problem might be that this app hasn't really been updated in several years at this point. So maybe it worked at some point, doesn't anymore. It's a shame. Oh well. At least the basic functionality does work, and that's the main part, I guess. Let's now have a look at the cluster hits part of this app. Here we go. You can specify how many missiles you want to hit with. Maybe we are shooting with an SRM4, and you press go. This time we rolled 7, so that means on the right hand side you can see we hit 3 times. And we can actually do something pretty cool here. We can press the plus button there, and it'll roll those 3 missiles for us. Very neat. Let's this time go for alarm 20. Throw the dice. 8-7 again. As you can see, it's 12 hits. What we'll have to do is do 5 points grouped this time on the lower part here. And we can throw the dice again. As you can see, this time we got a right torso, center torso, critical, and the left torso. What's sort of unfortunate is that this app doesn't show you how much damage you did to each of those parts. So you just have to start from the bottom up and do it yourself, like 5 points to right torso and so on. One final gripe about this app is that I do think the buttons on the lower left hand side should be a little bit different. Let's say I want to hit a quad mech from the left side with a kick. Look how long this takes. I have to press this here and this here and this here, and this here, and this, and this. That takes a lot of time. I would say a better option would be if it was just possible that the buttons were all visible at the same time, so you could just toggle it. You wouldn't have to open like a tiny menu for each change. Well, it still does work, but I don't think the UI is optimal, really. And one more piece of functionality. I do really like the fact that you can use this app really nicely in split screen mode with other apps. For example, Flex Sheets here. You can use it like this, as a tiny bit smaller or a little bit bigger, however you like your other app to be. And the other app is going to work just fine. You can roll for hitting, and maybe if you have Flex Sheets here, maybe you can put in your damage right into Flex Sheets, provided you want to use these two. Maybe you want to keep Sarna open or whatever else you might want to have open. I think it's pretty nice. Of course, the app also does work just fine on an iPhone as well. So that's pretty much the app. I do think it's a pretty good one, despite the problems mentioned. I do find the custom hit tables not working a bit of a shame, and the UI could use a little bit of work. But if we think about the fact that will this make your BattleTech games faster or better somehow? And I think the answer could be yes. Maybe if you played BattleTech for a long time, you're not going to need this because maybe you have the tables memorized and everything. But maybe especially for newbies who don't want to look up stuff all the time, you don't want to reference the tables all the time, and maybe especially if you like to use a lot of cluster fire weapons, like maybe you have catapults and trebuchets and archers and stuff, and you're raining down missiles all the time. Maybe you don't want to look at the cluster hits table all the time. Just let the app do the work for you. I do think that is an actual function this app might have, and maybe very good for newbies as well. Also, this app might be good for accessibility because just out of curiosity, I tried the voice-over functionality of the iPad on MechHitting, and it worked just fine. I think if you have some sort of disability where you can't throw dice, or maybe you can't see properly, maybe you can't reference sheets or something like that, this app could be a good help for that sort of thing. I do recommend checking out this app if you have an iPhone, if you have an iPad. Maybe try it out. Maybe see if you like this way of throwing the dice. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.